Hey everybody, welcome back to us again. So I know it's been a while since I put out a video. I think the NFL jersey video was the last one I did, but you know, been busy, you know, holidays and all that kind of stuff, family vacation. So today it's going to be kind of a short video, but I realized I hadn't done a video on this particular gun. Many of you have probably already seen this gun, but for those of you that haven't, it is this right here. This is the Henry U.S. survival rifle. It is chambered, it's 22 long. That's what it's chambered in. And you might say, hey, it's just a stock. If you've never seen this before, that's probably what you would say. However, this is the trick to it. It is like that because you can take off the end cap on the butt, and all the rest of the components of the gun fit inside the stock. So you have your receiver, you have your barrel, and then you have 2 magazines that will fit in it. The gun only comes with 1 magazine, but you can you know, buy extra mags, and so you can actually carry 3 magazines with this gun. You can keep 2 in the butt of the gun, and then you can carry, you know, of course, 1 in the receiver. The gun does float. How long it will float before it becomes so waterlogged that it sinks, I'm not sure, but I know it will give you, if you were to drop this in a lake or a creek or river or something like that, it would give you a few minutes definitely before, you know, it would be fully submerged and you wouldn't be able to retrieve it, because it has a lot of dead space built in for air pockets, you know. But you know, these seals where the end cap goes, they're not completely watertight, so water does eventually leak into it. It's just a matter of how long before it gets, you know, there's so much water in it that it does sink. But it will float, and that's whether the parts are inside the butt or the gun's fully assembled. No matter what, it will float. So you'll at least have a few minutes to be able to retrieve the gun should something like that happen. Anyway, back onto it. The butt here it's just a hard plastic. It is extra wide, and that is because all of the components have to fit inside here, so it is a very wide butt stock. The grip area is also very wide, again because the barrel comes up in this direction, so everything having to fit inside the stock is why the butt stock is so wide. There are a lot of other guns out there that are survival type rifles where the components don't fit in the barrel, you know, or don't fit in the butt. I've seen like the barrel can detach and hook to the base of the butt stock or whatever, but as far as I'm aware, none of those float, so that's kind of the plus to this. And you know, you can fit everything in here and it fits inside a backpack and all that stuff just like the other ones, but with this one, that ability of it floating is always a nice feature. To assemble the weapon, it's very simple. Just put that back on. Put these magazines over there. You'll see this notch right here, and you can see there is a screw head that pops up. The receiver has that screw hole right there. So the receiver just fits down inside here like that, and then there's a nut or a wing nut kind of on the bottom of this. You can just turn that until it tightens all the way up. Tighten that down, and then we're going to put on the barrel. Barrel's the front sight. It has a blazing orange front sight on it. To line it up, there's a notch right there in the threads. You can see that. There is a small like pin right there. And you just put that pin right where the notch goes and then tighten down the nut. You can give a little push on the barrel if you want. You can see that little pin. You see a little pin right there. See how it moves down? And then tighten it doesn't matter if you don't do that. Just screwing this down will pull the barrel down into place. Now, the one problem with one like this is that because you tighten that down, and there could be some kind of movement left or right when you're doing that, it could throw the sights on this off just a tiny bit. So shooting this at an extremely long range, the shots are very difficult. Closer range, not so much. You can pretty much hit what you're wanting to hit. And then that's it. The gun is fully assembled. Scoot back so you can see that. Fully assembled. Other features here. The magazine release is actually this piece right here. You can see that. So if your finger is inside here, you can just push forward with your finger to release the magazine, like that. So I'll take an empty one. I'll show you guys that. So it just fits in like that, and then push forward, and magazine releases. So that's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. It has a Weaver rail system on it, so should you want to put a small scope or something on it, Weaver system, you'll be able to do that. The rear sight apertures are just round apertures, like that. There are two of them actually. This screw right here on the back, if you were to take, just disassemble this again real quick. So you just loosen that screw, and then you can see there's another small hole there. So whether you want the larger rounder hole or the smaller one, your choice. You need to loosen that, spin it around, lock it back down in place. As far as disassembly on the gun, pretty simple. Just remove your barrel. So this assembly is really simple. Once you have just your receiver like this, this piece here, when that barrel's not pushing on this, the receiver will push all the way forward, and you can just wiggle this charging handle right out, so it just pops right out of there. Once that's out, just give that a little, just give your receiver a little push, and it'll come out. And I would suggest holding it like this when you do this, and I'll show you why. Okay, you got two springs right there. Okay, in the back, get that to come out of there. Should not want to come out of there. There's a plastic piece. There it goes, popped out. There's a plastic piece that sits back in there like that, just like this. And so when you have this, I'll show you. There's a, see this notch right here. This little notch like that fits the same direction, and those two legs just fit inside the springs, like so. So you have this notch on this side, and that notch in the plastic piece is on the same side. Just simply take it like so, slide it back in place. Okay. And we're just going to line that hole back up right here, and we slide the pin back in. And then, so if you pull on this pin, it won't always come all the way out. It'll lock in place. It's just when you need to disassemble it, you're just going to put your finger in and kind of give this a little wiggle as you do it, and it'll pop out for you. But that's it. That's the basic disassembly of the weapon. To take it down any farther, if you know what you're doing, great, fine. You can loosen this screw right here, loosen the screw over here for your safety mechanism, take it apart. If you don't know how to do it any farther than that, take it to a gunsmith. So things I like about this gun, The receiver and the barrel, they're Teflon coated, which means, I mean, mud and stuff does not really stick to this gun at all. Now, of course, if you get it inside here, you're going to get a lot of grit and things like that in there. That could cause a jam or whatever. But it can take a lot before any of that kind of stuff happens to this. I mean, this gun can get pretty dirty before it fails to fire or fails to feed. And that's one of the things I like about it, is it has that Teflon coating, and I really like that on what's supposed to be a survival rifle. It just adds to the ability of it not rusting, you know, because if you are in a survival situation and you don't know how long it's going to be before you get rescued, that's a great added benefit. Other than that, it shoots well. Like I said though, since you have to assemble the gun and disassemble it all the time, your sighting can be off a little bit, but it's still a pretty accurate little gun. And you know, again, this is a survival gun. It's to get food with, shoot squirrels or rabbits or birds or whatever. That's its purpose. It's not some kind of competition 22 AR or, you know, anything like that. That's not what it's for. I think that's where a lot of people get a little crazy on some guns. You know, certain guns have a specific purpose of what they're intended for. That's what this gun is intended for. But putting it all back, very simple again. Just pull the back plate off. You'll see the notch for the barrel has a little notch right there. That is for the sight. But that slides up in there. You see, here's your slot for your receiver. Stay in there. Slot for your receivers right there. When you put the receiver in, make sure that the charging handle is in, not sticking out, otherwise it won't fit. So, slide your receiver in, and then you have your two spots for your magazines. Right there. Slide one. Just like that. So now you have everything filled in. I also, I had taken and I had some paracord with me, and I was able to actually wedge some paracord in where the barrel goes. A small piece, you know, long enough that I could make a temporary sling for the gun. Should you want to do that, you know, if you wanted to have a sling for the gun so that when you were carrying it around, it was just a simple piece of paracord that you could put 2 loops on, you know, and have a makeshift, you know, sling. But we'll take this outside. I've got some shaving cream cans that I'm going to shoot for you guys, and I don't know, from my usual like 25 yards or something like that. I'll show you how accurate the gun is when you assemble it, and just shoot it just the way it is. Right after you assemble it and you start to shoot something, just how accurate the gun actually is. And I think shooting a shaving cream can or something like that is a pretty good definition. You know, it's body-wise size, it's about the size of a squirrel or maybe a rabbit or something if it's sitting or whatever. So let's go take a look. Hey, alright, so I'm out here. I've got the shaving cream set up just right down there. So we'll shoot off a few rounds from back here, and I'll let you guys see how it goes. Of course, my stupid dog has to run out there. Thor! Thor! So, and then I've got 2 little, I don't know, foosball guys sitting on a stick. We'll see if I can spin them. Yeah, they didn't spin, but they fell over. Make it clear. And I'll walk you guys up there, let you see the end result. By the way, it's about I don't know, 29 degrees out, so it's a little chilly. Break this gun down real quick. So I put this whole gun together while I was out here. Bare hands. So hands are a little cold, but to show you how it works in cold weather. So I mean, literally came outside, put the gun together, and then we shot. So break the gun apart. Don't eat my gun, Thor. All right, let's go take a look. So there's the little foosball guys I was talking about. I actually ended up hitting a stick, split that stick in half, trying to hit them. Here's shaving cream, shaving cream, shaving cream. So it's a good little gun, works well. You know, for a survival situation, it's a great little gun to have. So if you're inclined to, you know, do a lot of backpacking and, you know, think you might ever get stranded and might need something like that, go out and pick one up. They retail $200 to $300 range, somewhere around there. You should be able to find them. Those magazines hold 8 rounds, so in total, if you had 3 magazines, you could hold 24 rounds. So that's my sheep out here bowing at me. But thanks a lot for joining me, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.